Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sgcarmart Reviews. So everyone loves a good hot hatch, right? It straddles the line between playfulness and practicality, and I think it appeals to the boy racer in most of us. So here we have the new Audi RS3, here in its Sportback variant, and Sportback is Audi speak for hatchback. And this is as full on of a hot hatch as you'll find today. Did you know that you could be losing up to $5,000 in value when you trade in your car? Quotz uses its network of dealers to get you the best price possible. In fact, they're so confident on getting you the best price, if you sell your car for a higher price, they'll give you $100. Don't just take our word for it, look at the hundreds of raving reviews on their website. To find out more, visit quotz.com.sg, that's QUOTZ.com.sg. Now first, let's talk about design. I think the RS3 is a striking and attention-grabbing car, especially in this pretty bold and eye-catching color. And you know, it has that presence of hot hatch, right? It's mean and purposeful looking, but at the same time, I also think it looks kind of cute, right? You know, with this color and the fact that it is a fairly compact car. And of course, we also have some RS-specific elements. We have this grille here, and if you come a little bit closer, we have these RS rims and RS brakes as well. Now, the only thing about the exterior of this car that I'm not a big fan of is this wing. This is an optional $8,000 carbon fiber spoiler. And I'm personally not a big fan of wings in general, except on full-blown performance cars. And I just think this breaks what is otherwise a very clean hatchback silhouette. Now let's go check out the boot. Now, boot space. Here we have a 282-litre boot, so that's actually almost 100 litres less than an A3 Sportback, and that's mainly to do with the fact that this is an all-wheel drive car, so they do have to fit a drive shaft at the rear. It means that you can still fit the big luggage, and the anti-trolley definitely won't pass the length test. It's a usable size boot, right? I think for most normal families, I think it's usable on a day-to-day basis, but if you need to be fitting bigger things, probably go and take a Grab. Now let's go jump inside the car. The Audi RS3 Sportback is priced at $393,075. The 2.5 litres, 5-cylinder turbocharged engine produces 394 brake horsepower and 500 Nm of torque. The 7-speed S-tronic transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in 3.8 seconds. For more details on the Audi RS3 Sportback or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. Now here in the rear of the RS3, I will say that it is quite a comfortable space. So in terms of legroom and headroom, I think this is kind of what you expect from a car in this class, right? And if you slide on over to the middle, it's a usable middle seat. I like that it's quite flat and quite wide, and yes, there is a transmission tunnel hump, but you actually can still kind of put both your feet up, and you know, you could fit 3 adults here if you really needed to. Now in terms of equipment, we have aircon vents, but we have sort of analog manual temperature control, so no specific numbers, it's just hot and then cold. And then we also have 2 USB-C ports, and of course we also have ISOFIX points for the kids. Now let's go check out the front. Now here in the front of the cabin, it is a very recognizable and familiar Audi space that has been given the RS treatment. So what do you get? Firstly, we get these very nice sport seats with this honeycomb pattern, and also this Alcantara steering wheel that's just delightful to hold and to just feel, right? And we also get some of these red accents that you see around the cabin. So this is actually part of the optional RS Styling Package Plus, and I do think it adds a little splash of exuberance to this cabin. But beyond that, it's a very familiar space. So we have that same MMI infotainment system, the virtual cockpit. The one difference is that we have now different displays, configurable displays on a virtual cockpit. So you have RS Sport, RS Performance and RS Runway, and I personally like the RS Performance look the best. Is this the most bling interior in the world? Probably not, I mean, I think that's primarily because many of these components you actually have already seen on Audi models for a couple of years now. I personally like it, I like how intuitive and familiar and just easy to use it is, but I will have to concede that it's perhaps not as flashy as some other contemporary hot hatches. However, most importantly with a car like this is how it feels on the road, so let's go drive it. Now, this RS3 is almost the hottest hot hatch you can get on the market right now. So technically the AMG A45S has a fraction bit more power. However, here you have 394 brake horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque, which is plenty, right? So if you bury the throttle, it is very, very quick. So 0 to 100 is done in 3.8 seconds. So, you're not going to be short on power in any way. And that power comes from a very unique engine. So under the bonnet, we have a 5-cylinder 2.5 litre engine. And if you've never heard of a 5-cylinder 2.5 litre engine, I don't really blame you because there aren't many engines out there like that, right? So right now, only Audi still does this engine and it's only in 2 cars. So the RS3 as well as the TTRS. So it's a very unique engine that makes a very distinct, growly and deep sound, and it makes a very nice sound. I think if you just drop it a couple of gears and let it rev out, it makes a very, very nice noise. I really like this engine, right? Now, the big thing with this new RS3 is what Audi calls the RS torque splitter. So what that does is that it can variably distribute torque between the rear wheels and basically allow you to go sideways, right? So you can see Julian doing that in the preview video.
That was fun, man.
And yes, in that kind of closed environment or on a racetrack, that kind of thing, you can go sideways if you wanted to. Obviously, I'm not going to be going drifting on public roads because it's not allowed. And Audi has also very, very specifically told me, and I quote, RS torque rear mode and RS performance modes are not to be used on public roads for safety reasons. So I want to state on camera that I have not pressed this RS button on the steering wheel and I have not put the car in RS performance mode because I have not. But if I did, and I have not, but if I did, what I would be able to tell you is that the car feels a little bit sharper, right? So you get a slightly sharper soundtrack, it puts the gearbox in the S mode, so you're holding lower gears, you're high up in the revs, and the car feels that a little bit more alert. And also because the power is being shuffled a little bit more to the rear wheels, you can feel that the front end's a little bit sharper, and as a result, it makes for a slightly more dynamic experience, even on normal roads. Well, obviously it's one of those things where you can only really fully appreciate it on a racetrack, I would say. With a hot hatch, of course, it's not just about going fast and driving like a hooligan, right? It needs to do all your day-to-day simple things. And in that sense, I think the RS3 does a good job, right? From a comfort perspective, now the car is just left in auto setting, right? And it feels comfortable enough. It's still kind of firm, a little bit jiggly, but this is what you kind of expect from hot hatch, right? And I think it drives quite quietly. The engine is not overly in your face when you don't want it to be. And of course, there's still plenty of performance when you need to, right? You just need to overtake. You don't even need to drop a gear, right? Just put your foot down, the car will do it for you. And yes, I think for all those comfort things, I think this does a decent enough job. It's not overly hardcore. And you can use this car every day. So, the new Audi RS3 Sportback, is it a will buy, won't buy, or go try? I think this is a go try. I'm a little bit torn because I really, really like this car. However, it's hard to overlook the fact that this car is priced at $383,000, I think, right now. And that's a big number, right? So it's not quite as expensive as an AMG A45. However, it is a big step up from your more common hot hatches like your GTI or even your incoming Golf R or your Megane RS or your i30N, right? So this is a big step up. I will say that I think this is a very desirable car, right? So I think beyond the fact that it's very fast, it's dynamic, can go sideways, I think all of those things are sort of besides the point. I think where this is most interesting is that engine, right? Is that engine that's special, that's unique, and I think it then gives this car a personality of its own. It's got its own bit of flamboyance and it's just different. However, you're paying a premium for that, and I guess this is one of those cars where you really have to appreciate that engine and what it is and what it represents and what it's capable of doing. And if that's what you want, if that's what you like, then yes, I think this is the car for you. But that being said, I understand this isn't a hot hatch for everyone, right? You know, if you just wanted a fast, dynamic, fun to drive, powerful family hatchback, there are cheaper options. You don't need an RS3, but fundamentally, I think you want an RS3 because it's different from, I guess, your more run-of-the-mill 2-liter hot hatches, right? This is its own thing. And yeah, I think that's why it's a go try for me, because I cannot say that everyone wants this RS3, right? It's for specific people. I think it's for people like me, right? So I'll be very honest, of all the cars I've driven this year, this is perhaps one of the most engaging and fun and exciting cars that I've driven, and it really just does put a smile on my face, and that's what great cars do. Alright, so that's our review of the new Audi RS3 Sportback. So let us know what you think about this car in the comment section below. And of course, do also like and share this video. And please subscribe. So our subscriber count has gone up, so thanks to those that subscribe. But most of you are not subscribed, so please subscribe. And of course, follow us on TikTok. We are at Sgcarmart. So that's all I have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye! It appeals to the boy racer in most of us. So here we have the new Audi RS3. Here in its sportback form, of the mill 2-liter hot hatches, right? This is its own thing. Its own thing. No, this is its own thing. Dirty, yeah.